The Young and the Restless spoilers. The latest developments surrounding The Young and the Restless suggest that Sally Spectra's pregnancy may soon be placed under tremendous strain as a dangerous corporate conflict begins to take shape. What initially appears to be another battle for control in Genoa City could quickly become something far more personal, especially once Victor Newman turns his attention towards Spectra Charles Media. Sally has worked hard to build a future that is independent from the Newman family's influence, but independence is never easy to protect when Victor believes something valuable has been taken from him. With Adam Newman caught between his father's demands, his professional ambitions, and his concern for Sally's well-being, the coming weeks could force him into one of the most difficult positions of his life. Adam may want to regain control of Newman Media, but he also understands that any aggressive move against Spectra Charles could create devastating consequences for Sally. She is already carrying the emotional weight of her complicated history with Adam, Billy Abbott, and the Newman family, and another ruthless business war could become more than she can safely endure. The growing concern is not simply that Sally might lose her company or face financial uncertainty. The deeper fear is that the pressure, betrayal, and emotional upheaval surrounding the conflict could place her unborn child in danger. Adam's desire to reclaim Newman Media is understandable on both a professional and emotional level. Newman Media was once an important part of his identity, representing more than a corporate position or a valuable division of the Newman empire. It gave him power, influence, and an opportunity to prove that he could lead something significant without constantly standing in Victor's shadow. Losing the company was therefore not just a business setback. It was another reminder that Adam's position within the Newman family could change whenever Victor decided that a different strategy better served his interests. The previous version of Newman Media was eventually absorbed into Spectra Charles after Phyllis Summers placed it in Billy Abbott's hands, a move that dramatically reshaped the balance of power. To Victor, the merger was not a legitimate evolution of the company. He viewed it as a theft, a humiliation, and an attack on the Newman legacy. Victor rarely forgets an insult, and he almost never allows someone to benefit from what he considers an act of betrayal. Billy's involvement only makes the situation more explosive, because Victor has always regarded Billy as reckless, arrogant, and unworthy of controlling anything connected to the Newman name. From Victor's perspective, Billy did not earn Newman Media. He took advantage of chaos, accepted something that never belonged to him, and then used it to strengthen a company that could one day challenge Newman Enterprises. Victor cannot tolerate that outcome, and he certainly cannot allow Billy to escape without punishment. For Adam, however, reclaiming Newman Media is not as simple as helping Victor destroy Spectra Charles. Adam may want the company back, and he may even believe that he and Chelsea Lawson could rebuild it into something stronger, but he does not want Sally to become collateral damage. That concern became clear when Adam attempted to slow Victor down in the episode that aired on July 10. Adam recognized the dangerous direction of his father's plan and understood that Victor was not merely discussing a business negotiation. Victor was preparing for war. Once Victor chooses a target, he rarely limits himself to fair competition. He studies weaknesses, applies pressure, isolates allies, and waits for the exact moment when his opponent is most vulnerable. Spectra Charles is still a young company, which means it may not have the resources, stability, or political protection necessary to withstand a prolonged attack from Newman Enterprises. Sally may be talented, determined, and highly creative, but determination alone may not protect her from Victor's influence. If Victor targets investors, advertising partners, key employees, or distribution opportunities, Spectra Charles could begin collapsing before Sally fully understands what is happening. Adam knows this because he has witnessed Victor use similar tactics before. He also knows that Victor may claim the attack is directed at Billy while privately accepting that Sally will suffer as well. Adam's concern for Sally is intensified by everything she has already endured because of him. Their history is filled with genuine affection, painful decisions, broken trust, and moments in which Adam's attempt to protect Sally only caused her greater pain. Adam has often convinced himself that he knows what is best for the people he loves, yet his choices have repeatedly created consequences he did not anticipate. He does not want to repeat that pattern now, especially while Sally is pregnant. The last thing he wants is to become the reason her life is thrown into chaos again. Even if Adam is not the father of every problem surrounding Sally, he understands that participating in Victor's attack could make him responsible for whatever follows. If Spectra Charles suffers a financial crisis, Sally will not be able to separate the business consequences from the emotional betrayal. She may see Adam's involvement as proof that he ultimately chose the Newman Empire over her safety. She may believe that his promises of concern were meaningless and that, when forced to decide, he once again allowed Victor to control him. That realization could be crushing for Sally, particularly if she has trusted Adam to protect her from unnecessary stress. Chelsea's involvement adds another layer of complexity. Adam wants to restore Newman Media alongside Chelsea, which suggests that the two of them have developed a strategy they believe could benefit everyone without requiring the immediate destruction of Spectra Charles. During the week of July 13 through July 17, Adam and Chelsea are expected to ask Victor for 6 months to carry out their own plan. Their proposal appears designed to delay Victor's assault while giving them an opportunity to prove that Newman Media can be recovered or rebuilt through less destructive methods. Adam will likely argue that attacking Spectra Charles immediately is unnecessary and potentially dangerous. If he and Chelsea can produce results within 6 months, Victor may regain the influence he wants without creating a public battle that could damage multiple companies. If they fail, Adam will remind Victor that he remains free to take whatever action he believes is necessary. On the surface, this is a practical compromise. It gives Adam and Chelsea a limited window to demonstrate their value while allowing Victor to maintain control over the final decision. Yet beneath the professional language, Adam's true motivation may be to buy time for Sally. Every week that Victor delays his attack gives Spectra Charles another opportunity to grow stronger, secure additional resources, and prepare for the possibility of retaliation. The problem is that Victor is unlikely to accept a plan that does not reinforce his authority. He may listen to Adam and Chelsea, but listening does not mean agreeing. Victor respects strength, results, and loyalty, yet he also expects obedience. Adam's request could therefore be interpreted as an attempt to challenge him. Victor may wonder whether Adam is genuinely trying to rebuild Newman Media or merely protecting Sally from the consequences of Billy's actions. If Victor concludes that Adam's feelings for Sally are influencing his judgment, he could become even more determined to impose his own conditions. Victor's eventual response is expected to take the form of a new offer accompanied by a clear warning. Adam can either accept the terms or walk away. That kind of ultimatum is typical of Victor. He offers the appearance of choice while making it clear that only one answer will be considered acceptable. Adam may be allowed to pursue a version of his plan, but Victor will likely attach conditions that keep him under close control. He may demand rapid results, unrestricted access to information, or a promise that Adam will not interfere if Spectra Charles becomes the target later. Whatever the details, Victor's proposal could leave Adam trapped between two outcomes that both carry serious risks. If Adam accepts Victor's offer, he may temporarily delay the attack on Sally's company, but he could also become part of the machinery that eventually destroys it. If he refuses, Victor may move against Spectra Charles immediately, blaming Adam for wasting valuable time. This is why the 6-month proposal may only postpone the inevitable. Victor's anger has not disappeared, and his desire to punish Billy remains strong. He may agree to wait, but waiting is not the same as forgiving. Victor could use those 6 months to quietly prepare a more devastating campaign, collecting information about Spectra Charles while Adam and Chelsea believe they are working toward a peaceful solution. By the time Adam realizes what his father has done, Victor may already have positioned Newman Enterprises to strike. Such a scenario would be especially painful because Adam's effort to protect Sally could unintentionally make her more vulnerable. Sally might believe the danger has passed, allowing her to focus on her pregnancy and the growth of her company. Then, without warning, Victor could launch an attack so powerful that Spectra Charles has no time to respond. Billy's role in the coming conflict cannot be ignored. Victor's anger may be directed at Billy, but Sally is deeply connected to the company Billy now helps control. Billy has a history of making bold, emotional, and sometimes reckless decisions, and Victor is counting on that weakness. If Billy responds to Victor's pressure impulsively, he could make the crisis worse. He may refuse to compromise, publicly challenge Victor, or use company resources to fight a battle Spectra Charles cannot afford. Billy may believe that standing up to Victor is necessary to protect the company and prove that he cannot be intimidated. However, his determination could place Sally in an impossible position. She may agree that Victor must be resisted, yet she may also recognize that a prolonged war could destroy everything they have built. If Sally urges caution, Billy could interpret it as fear or as evidence that Adam still has too much influence over her. If she supports Billy's aggressive response, she could become even more deeply involved in a conflict that threatens both her career and her health. The emotional pressure on Sally could therefore come from every direction at once. Victor may be attacking her company. Billy may be demanding loyalty and courage. Adam may be asking her to trust him while working with Chelsea to reclaim Newman Media. Chelsea's presence could reopen old wounds, even if she has no intention of hurting Sally. Sally may wonder whether Adam's concern is sincere or whether he simply wants to reduce his own guilt before helping Victor take back the company. She may also question whether Chelsea and Adam's plan is really about protecting her or about rebuilding a professional partnership that could eventually leave Sally outside Adam's life. These doubts would be understandable given Sally's history. She has repeatedly fought to prove that she belongs in Genoa City, yet she is often treated as though her success is temporary or dependent on the approval of more powerful people. Spectra Charles represents her chance to create something lasting, something that cannot be taken away because of a personal relationship or a Newman family decision. If Victor threatens that achievement, Sally will not simply see a business challenge. She will see an attack on her identity, her future, and the security she hoped to provide for her child. Pregnancy already brings physical and emotional demands, and Sally's situation is far from calm. She may try to convince everyone that she can handle the pressure, especially because she does not want to be treated as fragile. Sally is proud, resilient, and accustomed to surviving difficult circumstances. She may insist that Victor cannot frighten her and that Spectra Charles will not collapse simply because Newman Enterprises applies pressure. However, the danger may come from her refusal to slow down. Sally could respond to the threat by working longer hours, taking greater risks, and personally overseeing every part of the company's defense. She may skip rest, ignore warning signs, and suppress her fear because she believes showing weakness would give Victor exactly what he wants. Billy may encourage her determination without realizing how much the stress is affecting her. Adam, on the other hand, may become increasingly alarmed as he watches Sally push herself beyond safe limits. His attempts to intervene could create further conflict if Sally interprets them as controlling or hypocritical. After all, Adam cannot warn her about stress while continuing to participate in the battle that is causing it. This creates the possibility of a deeply emotional confrontation between Sally and Adam. Adam may approach Sally believing he is offering help, perhaps warning her that Victor is not giving up and urging her to prepare. Sally could respond with anger, accusing Adam of protecting himself rather than protecting her. She may demand to know why he continues working with Victor if he truly believes the attack could harm her. Adam may explain that remaining close to Victor is the only way to influence his decisions, but Sally may not accept that reasoning. From her perspective, Adam has used similar justifications before. He often claims that questionable choices are necessary to prevent something worse, yet the people around him still end up hurt. Sally could tell him that she no longer wants promises or secret strategies. She wants him to make a clear choice. Either he supports Victor's attempt to reclaim Newman Media, or he stands against the attack on Spectra Charles. Adam may insist that the situation is more complicated, but Sally may be emotionally exhausted by complications. The confrontation could become even more intense if Billy learns that Adam has been privately warning Sally. Billy may assume Adam is trying to create division within Spectra Charles, or convince Sally to surrender before Victor makes his move. Billy's distrust of Adam is already deeply rooted, and the possibility of Adam and Chelsea rebuilding Newman Media will only increase that suspicion. Billy may believe that Adam's concern for Sally is being used as a weapon. He could accuse Adam of manipulating her pregnancy to weaken her confidence and interfere with the company's decisions. Adam, furious at the suggestion, may argue that Billy is the one placing Sally at risk by turning Spectra Charles into the center of his personal war with Victor. Neither man is likely to back down. Their argument could become loud, bitter, and deeply personal, forcing Sally to stand between them while both claim to be defending her. That kind of conflict could be precisely the emotional shock that pushes her health into dangerous territory. Victor may not intend to harm Sally's unborn child, but his refusal to consider the human consequences of his strategy could make him responsible for the crisis. Victor often separates business from emotion when it suits him, claiming that his target should have understood the risks of opposing him. If Sally's health begins to deteriorate, Victor may initially dismiss the connection. He might argue that Billy created the problem by taking Newman Media and refusing to return it. He could also blame Adam for failing to control the situation or Sally for allowing business stress to affect her. Yet those explanations would not change the fact that Victor's campaign set the conflict in motion. Adam would likely see this clearly and could finally turn against his father if Sally suffers a medical emergency. The possibility of losing her child could awaken Adam's deepest guilt and anger, especially if he believes he had a chance to stop Victor but chose compromise instead. Chelsea would also find herself caught in an emotionally difficult position. She may genuinely support Adam's attempt to protect Sally, but her role in rebuilding Newman Media could make her appear complicit in the attack. Sally might not trust her motives, particularly if Chelsea and Adam begin spending more time together developing their 6-month strategy. Even if their relationship is strictly professional, Sally could feel increasingly isolated. She may see Adam and Chelsea planning a future for Newman Media while she struggles to protect Spectra Charles. This contrast could become unbearable. Adam may argue that their work is designed to save Sally's company, but appearances matter, and Sally's emotional state could make every interaction feel like another betrayal. Chelsea may eventually recognize that the plan is creating more tension than protection, but by then Victor may have already locked them into his terms. As Spectra Charles begins facing pressure, the company could descend into chaos. Investors may become nervous, employees may fear layoffs, and important partners could reconsider their agreements. Sally would be forced to reassure everyone while privately wondering whether she can keep the company alive. Billy might propose aggressive countermeasures, but those decisions could require money and resources they do not have. The more unstable the company becomes, the more desperate Sally may feel. Spectra Charles is not merely a job to her. It is proof that she can succeed on her own terms. Losing it would reopen every insecurity she has fought to overcome. She could begin blaming herself, questioning whether she was foolish to believe she could challenge the power structures of Genoa City. That internal pressure may become even more dangerous than Victor's external attack. The most frightening possibility is that Sally ignores the first signs that something is wrong with her pregnancy. She may experience pain, dizziness, exhaustion, or another concerning symptom, but insists that she is fine. She may tell herself that she only needs sleep, or that the stress will pass once the company crisis is under control. Adam could notice that she looks unwell and urge her to seek medical attention, but Sally may refuse because she does not want him using her health as a reason to interfere. Billy could also underestimate the seriousness of the situation, believing Sally is simply overwhelmed. By the time the truth becomes impossible to ignore, the situation could already be critical. A sudden collapse at the office during a confrontation, or immediately after receiving devastating news about Spectra Charles, would transform the business war into a personal nightmare. Such a crisis would force every character to confront the consequences of their choices. Adam would have to ask whether his attempt to negotiate with Victor was an act of protection or cowardice. Billy would have to consider whether his determination to fight placed Sally under unbearable pressure. Chelsea would wonder whether her partnership with Adam made the situation worse. Victor would be faced with a possibility that his obsession with reclaiming Newman Media endangered an innocent child. Sally, meanwhile, would be left fighting not only for her company but also for the future she has been trying to protect. The emotional impact would be enormous because Sally has already experienced profound pain connected to motherhood. The fear of another loss could break through every defense she has built, leaving her more vulnerable than anyone has seen her in a long time. Adam's reaction could be especially explosive. If Sally is rushed to the hospital, Adam may immediately blame Victor and Billy, refusing to accept their attempts to justify what happened. He could confront Victor with the truth that his need for control has once again harmed the people closest to him. Victor may insist that he never wanted Sally hurt, but Adam may no longer care about intention. To him, the outcome would be all that matters. Adam could accuse Victor of valuing Newman Media more than Sally's life and the life of her unborn child. This confrontation might finally push Adam beyond negotiation. Instead of asking Victor for 6 months, Adam could reject his father's offer entirely and threaten to expose or sabotage the attack on Spectra Charles. Yet taking such a stand after Sally's crisis may be too late to repair the damage. Billy could also find himself facing Sally's anger if she recovers. Sally may realize that both Adam and Billy made decisions around her without truly listening to what she needed. Adam tried to protect her through secret negotiations, while Billy tried to protect the company through confrontation. Neither man gave Sally genuine control over her own future. A pregnancy crisis could therefore become a turning point in her relationships. She may refuse to allow either Adam or Billy to define her choices. Instead, she could demand that they step away while she decides what is best for herself and her child. This would be emotionally powerful because Sally has often been pulled between powerful men, complicated loyalties, and corporate ambitions. The crisis may finally force her to put her own survival above everyone else's expectations. Victor's new offer to Adam will likely be the key moment that determines how quickly the danger escalates. If the terms require Adam to act directly against Spectra Charles, he will have to decide whether reclaiming Newman Media is worth the cost. He may attempt to modify the agreement, but Victor's warning will be clear: accept the deal or abandon the opportunity. Adam's answer could shape not only his professional future, but also Sally's fate. Accepting may give him temporary access to Victor's plans, yet it could destroy Sally's trust. Refusing may provoke Victor into launching an immediate attack. There may be no safe option, which is exactly how Victor prefers to operate. He creates situations in which every path leads back to his control. The coming conflict, therefore, appears to be much more than a corporate storyline. It is a test of loyalty, love, ambition, and responsibility. Adam wants Newman Media, but he does not want Sally harmed. Chelsea wants to help execute a successful strategy, but she may unintentionally become part of Sally's emotional distress. Billy wants to protect Spectra Charles, but his war with Victor could push the company toward disaster. Victor wants to reclaim what he believes belongs to the Newman family, yet his ruthless approach may create consequences even he cannot undo. At the center of everything is Sally, trying to protect her career, her independence, and her unborn child, while the most powerful men in Genoa City turn her future into a battlefield. For now, Adam may believe that 6 months will be enough to prevent catastrophe. He may convince himself that he can manage Victor, reassure Sally, and rebuild Newman Media without destroying Spectra Charles. But Victor has never been known for patience without purpose. If he agrees to wait, it may only be because he is preparing something far more dangerous. Sally may soon discover that the first attack has already begun, hidden behind closed-door meetings and carefully worded offers. And when she finally learns what Adam has agreed to in order to delay Victor's plan, the shock may come at the worst possible moment. With Billy demanding that she fight, Adam begging her to stay calm, and Victor closing in on Spectra Charles, Sally could suddenly feel a sharp pain that silences the entire room. As everyone rushes to her side, one terrifying question will remain unanswered. Has Victor's war for Newman Media already placed Sally's unborn child beyond saving?